Hey everyone, it's Dr. Hillary from Ridgeline Chiropractic. So happy Tuesday. Today we have with us Joe Thomas, who owns and is a photographer at JoJo Photography. Hey Joe, glad to have you here with
Hello.
us today.
Thank
Um,
you.
I really wanted Joe to talk about her business and all the different type of like clients she sees, and then at the end, I also want her to give us some tips on some maybe like at home pictures from our cute little iPhones because we're stuck at home, and many of us on here are parents and probably taking pictures of our kids or some people their grandkids. So. Joe, tell us a little bit like how you got started because I know you didn't originally start with photography.
I did not. So I actually, my undergrad is in psychology, and they told me I had to get a minor if I wanted to get my graduate or my undergraduate degree. So I picked photography because I thought it'd be super, super easy. And it was the hardest thing I ever did because I didn't know you had to learn in film. So I didn't just get to like click a button and delete. I had to actually develop all my own film, learn the lighting, and that was the hardest thing I ever did. So the joke was kind of on me, thinking I was going to pick something easy. Then I went on, got my master's in social work, and I worked as a regional director in foster care for almost 3 years. And then after that, I kind of just realized that I really wanted to work more in my element, which was photography and working kind of mainly specifically with women. I still shoot some family sessions here and there. I love shooting like mommy and me sessions and couples, but I really just want to focus on women throughout their journey. And so the majority of what I shoot is empowerment sessions with women. So that's kind of how it started.
I know, and I love that about you because you don't really see that much. I
Mhm.
feel like mostly you see like wedding photographers, families, babies, but you're like women empowerment. I'm like, well, I'm all there with that. So
Yeah.
tell us like what type of like women you see or what type of shoots that you do with them.
So it's really fun because a lot of people always ask me, do you regret getting your master's in social work because you're not using it? And I'm like, I absolutely do not, because I feel like as women, especially in society right now, we don't always get enough credit, or we don't get enough love, or we're too fat, we're too skinny, we're too this, we're too that. And so I have all kinds of women really coming through my door, and I shoot, from like boudoir sessions where you're in really sexy lingerie all the way up to being in a really cute dress, branding sessions, kind of whatever it is that makes women feel good is how I want to capture you. And so, the misconception is that I just shoot nude photography, and I absolutely don't. I want to capture you in your element. And sometimes that's even mommy and me sessions because you feel your best and you're most empowered when you're working with your kids. So I have a lot of different people come through. I have business owners, I have stay-at-home moms, I have teachers, nurses. It's really fun just kind of getting to see all the different people come in and coming in super nervous and then leaving like ready to do it again. I always say it's kind of like getting a tattoo. Once you like do it one time, you really want to come back for more and more and more, because it's nice to finally be on the other side of the camera, not just the one taking the pictures all the time.
That's true. I feel like as moms, like I was looking for a picture of me with the kids the other day and I was like scrolling and scrolling and I was like, I
Mhm.
literally don't have a lot of pictures of me with the kids, right?
Yep.
'Cause it's always
Yep.
about them and then we don't get our own cute pictures. And next thing you know, 10 years have gone by and we still don't have any good
Mhm.
pictures of even ourselves. And I
Yep.
mean, I feel like for the business, people in business, you get headshots once in a while, but people that don't
Yep.
own their own businesses, like they're not having these really great photos of all these times in our lives, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, and learning to like love yourself in each stage. I just had a baby like 7, almost 8 weeks ago, and learning to love like where I am now with stretch marks and not being, at my pre-baby weight, and just saying like, hey, that's totally okay because this is me, this is who I am. Like I just birthed 3 kids in 3 years. Like that's freaking awesome. It doesn't matter what the scale says to me. And so I really love conveying that to women and helping them see themselves. And, life is just so short and valuable and precious. And the last thing I ever want is if something would ever happen, me, my kids to look back and say, my mom was never in photos because she thought she was like too fat or too ugly or her hair wasn't done. They're going to look back and be like, oh my gosh, I loved that time with my mom.
We're
So
just raising more confident, young women to keep going and keep the tradition
mhm.
alive.
Yes.
I've seen some of her pictures, and you guys, they are really great. We'll have to put like a link to your group after this, because you guys should join the group and see these pictures. They're just really fabulous, and you can
Mhm.
tell like all the ladies in the pictures are really enjoying it. And I would think, wow, how can they do a session? Like, how can they pose like that? And I read in one of your comments that you pose people to like how they
Yep.
look the best too. Because
Yes.
I was thinking like, how do these women know how to do this and turn and do all that? Like, they're just so perfect. And then
And they always say to me too, they're like, I feel so weird. I'm like, you know what? You may feel weird, but your photo is going to look so great. So just turn your head this way a little more, put your hand up here, and you'll be good. And then they're always like, oh my gosh, that's me. I'm like, you just leave the posing to me. You just come in and I'll pose you all up.
that's so awesome. And I've seen some of them with a little bit more risque lingerie, and some
Mhm.
of them that I mean, just like wearing some pajamas or something.
Yep.
And I thought that that's great too, to whatever someone feels comfortable with, you know.
Yes. Yeah, I did one a couple weeks ago. She was just in a dress and this super cute hat she got when she was in London that she's like, I've never had anywhere to wear it. And I'm like, girl, bring that to the photo shoot, because as soon as she put it on, I mean, you could just tell how good she felt. And for me, I'm like, that is what it's all about. You leaving the session and feeling that you could just go walk a runway right now.
I remember that picture on your
Yeah.
group, and it was really cool. I was like, "Oh, that's a cool hat." Also thinking, "Man, I never wear hats."
Yeah, I know. I was like, I need that. Where did you get it? She's like, well, I got it in London. I'm like, okay, dang it.
Well, we can't leave now, but someday, huh? Someday you can take some
One
great
day.
pictures. Do your kids enjoy like being in pictures? Like, how is it as like the mom as a photographer? No.
My kids hate it. So I have to always hire someone to do our pictures because my kids never listen to me when it comes to pictures. My 11-year-old's just like, oh my gosh, just let mom take a picture so we can be done. And my little kids just want to take a selfie. That's it.
Mhm.
So we tried to hire someone like maybe 3 weeks ago when Emerson was small, and my kids completely lost it. We have one family photo. We're all looking great. And then they were running around the field, trying to run into the road, crying on the side of the ground. So, it was typical family. So when everyone says to me, I'm so sorry, and I'm like, you should see how my family photos went. My kids absolutely do not cooperate anytime I put a camera up. Ever.
Yeah, I believe it. I just thought, well, maybe you had some tricks to how you get these kids to sit and smile, and then and not do the ugly smile too. Like, just
Yes.
make it like a pretty, like you never smile that way, but until you say smile, and they're like some scrunchy look on their face, and
Yeah.
I think, really, like, when do you
Yep.
ever smile like that?
My kid like does this like one eye closed smile, and I'm just like, what are you doing right now? And so yeah, no, that's why I typically am on the other side of camera, because my kids are just like, they're just running crazy. And I like to do lots of peekaboos. That tends to work with the younger kids. They just think it's absolutely comical. And there have been many of times where I have like baby shark playing over my head. That's the real kicker. And little like giraffes or whatever. I'll be taking photos with one hand just to get a smile. I'm like, you know what, whatever I have to do so these
Hmm.
family photos look good for people.
My gosh.
So,
Well, how has this whole like COVID season like impacted your business? I
mhm.
mean, granted, you were in maternity almost. Well, you're in maternity leave, so to speak, now. But I mean, you're pregnant the
Mhm.
whole line. Like, how did that affect everything?
Yeah, so I actually had a lot of sessions in March, April, and then leading into May. And when we shut down, photographers could not shoot at all. We couldn't even shoot outdoors. And finally, when we could get it lifted, maybe in about May, we were allowed to shoot outdoors but still keep distance. So I went almost like 3 to 4 months without shooting. So that was really, really hard, especially when you have, a studio and rent and all these things. And then just trying to kind of squeeze everybody in, because I had 10 or 15 sessions from COVID shutdown to then squeeze in on top of everything else. And so it really showed me how much that I love what I do, which I think is like such a blessing in all this, that I was like, oh my gosh, like I miss being in the studio and I miss shooting. And so yeah, it's definitely been different wearing a mask all the time and not being able to just get together with people. And I love to like have little social interactions and so it's
Mm-hmm.
been it's been an adjustment. I'm thankful we're kind of at least getting back to a period where we can shoot, and I'm just like keeping my fingers crossed that Marion County stays open so I can stay in my studio and just shoot. Stay
I
far away from
know.
it and shoot.
So you just got this really great studio. Tell us about it.
Oh my gosh, I'm so in love with it. So I'm down at the Stutz building, and I was walking around the other day because that's where Two Chicks and a Hammer are, and I was like totally fangirling because I'm like, I feel so cool being in their building. And so when you walk in, it's a really long space, but it has a beautiful view. Like my window is, I don't know, probably 20 foot long at least. And you can see the entire skyline of downtown Indy. So every time everyone comes in, they're like, oh my gosh, that view, I want to live here. I'm like, you and me both. It's just, my window is my absolute favorite prop. Every time we're there, you'll see, boom, you're right up next to the window. Even the little kids, I'm like, all right, let's go over by the window. It just, the light is so good. And so funny when you ask me about sharing like tips at home, every time a session's done, I'm like, okay, go over to the window and take a selfie because it's going to be the best selfie you ever take because the light is just like so amazing there. And they take it and they're like, oh my gosh. The next thing you know, they're like over there, like going like this, taking a bunch of different images. And I'm like, come visit me just to get a good selfie.
Well, that's a great segue into what we need to be doing at home or when we're taking pictures of kids. So more light, huh?
Yeah. So one of the biggest things I see people do is they think one, you want to put kids in direct sunlight, or even just for family photos. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's so sunny. This is great. And I'm like, that's actually the worst time to take pictures because what happens is all the shadows and the highlights are on your face, or kids are like this trying to squint in the photos. It's actually best if you find shade. So
Okay.
go under a tree or wait until what we call golden hour in photography. So that's about an hour before if you're really trying to get some like cute pictures in a field or something. Wait until about an hour before sunset, or you can get up an hour before sunrise. That's called blue hour. But most of us are like not gonna happen. And just make sure that the sun is not directly out and over you. And then the other thing is actually I don't know if I have enough light, but you can kind of see how I'm dark right now. But see how when I face the light, so
Mhm.
assume like this would be my window basically, because this right now I have glass in front of me from my van. You can see how like highlighted my face is, how much better it looks. But see when I start to put the sun to my back again,
Yeah,
now
you're
it's really TV.
darker, huh? Hmm.
So
Okay.
finding that light without finding like direct sunlight. So find a nice big window in your house. And you could even like drape a black curtain over it. You could put something cute behind it. Like a lot of people do really cute stuff at home. I know, especially with newborns right now, it's so hard because everyone really wants pictures done. But
Yeah.
it's just really scary. Not everyone feels comfortable having your photos done right now. And so making sure you find a really nice light source, which is typically your window, and putting your kids kind of right directly under it because it's going to give them the best light and at least give you a little bit of something until you can get back into the studio with people.
Yeah. I know. I feel so bad for all the patients that I have that just had
Mhm.
babies. There's quite a few of them, and I think that's like when they're so little. A, I want to hold them, and
Yeah.
cuddle them, and you can't. But then B, it's like, oh, you're not getting all those little like precious like newborn
Yep.
photos with when you're just like holding them next to your skin. I don't know. It's just like, oh, so
It's
rough.
so hard. And I know so many newborn photographers are like trying so hard, just to like accommodate and at least stay like 6 feet away. Fortunately right now it's kind of nice out. So you probably could do some cute, like we did that with Emerson. We went outside and I just got family photos of us because I didn't really want her in a studio. But that way I could at least have something still, which was better than nothing. But my heart goes out to pregnant mamas right now because it has been the strangest thing with being pregnant and then having the baby and all of that during COVID.
I
All
know.
the things you take for granted, it's just like Oh my gosh, it's so different.
Let's see. Any other tips that you can think of for people taking pictures at home?
Let's see. So, one thing I really enjoy is like the live focus on my phone. That's really for when you're taking selfies, the live focus, because what it does is it blurs out the background.
Okay.
And so, if you're looking to do good selfies, because I mean, I think we all are kind of feeling ourselves once in a while. Make sure to use that and face the window. Especially for little kids and stuff, something fun you can do is one, just like getting some filters, not necessarily Instagram, but there's lots of little just like fun things. Canva, you can put really cute backgrounds on it. But I would definitely like go out in the evening, put them against, a tree, or if you have like a fence, kind of like a solid background or
Mhm.
something fun. Like sometimes at parks, they have those really long trails.
Mhm.
And so kind of just having that background that kind of goes all the way back so the kiddo can still be the focus. That's some of the best things to do right now. I mean, we're going to be coming up in fall. Fortunately, I think, a lot of fall photographers are going to be able to shoot because we can stay 6 feet back. But if
Mhm.
you're still not comfortable, I mean, get out a cute little wagon and just put them in that, like put them by some pumpkins. I mean, what I tell people right now is the memories are so much more important. So if you don't feel comfortable or you can't swing it financially, like at least just take the pictures. A lot of apple orchards soon will have really cute setups. I always shoot in an apple orchard. And you can just sit in a row, of apples and take some pictures with your iPhones. And, it'll do the job for now until we can all kind of get back to normal. But definitely finding that light source and getting in shape. Those are two things that if you do that, your photos will turn out a lot better than being out in the sun.
Okay. You're mentioning the fall, and then that reminded me of another thing I saw on your group, which was Halloween pictures.
Yes.
And I was like, that's so cute because people love Halloween. Like for some people, that's their
Mhm.
favorite holiday, right?
Yes.
And I was like, oh, that's a great idea to take some really cute pictures for Halloween.
Yes, I am so excited. I actually have a couple girls coming down from Wisconsin because it's their favorite time of year. And I think it's hard, especially as adults, because I mean, some people go to parties and you can dress up, but like right now it's kind of hard to go to parties. And so I thought, oh my goodness, how fun would it be if like it would just kind of give you an excuse to just dress up and look cute, like dress witchy or just dress in black or whatever you want. And I found a really great place with like water and trees and just kind of, making it feel kind of spooky. So that way, moms can still have some fun with Halloween too, not just trying to put their kids in masks and get them a bunch of candy. So
Yeah.
I'm super, super excited. I've already posted 2 kind of previews and their outfits were just so perfect, black outfits. And I think it's going to be so much fun. I love fall. Like it's my favorite time to shoot. So I'm trying to do more stuff outside as much as I can, even with boudoir. So
Yeah, no, bring on the fall. Bring on some cooler weather, some leaves changing. I totally agree. But I really liked like Halloween pictures without your kids. Like,
yes.
there was just, and I was like, oh, I don't know. I just wouldn't have thought about that. Like, of course, I take pictures of the kids in their costumes, but
Mhm.
yeah, how fun is it to get like a group of your friends together and take pictures? You'd
Or
always
even
remember
like
that.
couples. I'm always trying to get my husband to dress up. I'm like, we need to like be more creative. Like, hello, I'm a photographer and he never dresses up, nothing. And I'm like, one of these years we are dressing up and we are getting photos and it's just happening. I mean, we got to have fun as adults and it would be so fun. I was even telling people, I'm like, come in, let's do some like couple sessions, like dress up as something crazy, or you know what I mean? You can even be Jason. And I mean, it's fun. You can do so much fun stuff with Halloween and
Mhm.
still make it like super cute and sexy. So I'm
Yeah,
excited about it.
it was a great idea. I was like, oh, that's so cute. Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for coming on and giving us tips and telling us about your business. We'll post the link to your group below after this, but you guys should
Awesome.
check it out. She has some great things and always has like really cute ideas. And then the mommy and me sessions, like just so many
Yes.
great ideas that you have. And I love all of your empowering female stuff on there. So I'm all about it, all about the small
Yay.
business, so
Thank you. Thank you for having me on today.
this is so much fun.
Yes, I hopefully we can get together soon in person because I miss people.
I know. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Bye.